जो आचरहि महापुरुष श्री कृष्णं शरणं मम जो आचरहि महापुरुष करही तर जन सोय हो कृष्ण करही तर जन सो प्रमाण पाकर करे सो प्रमाण पाकर करे लोकमान्य सो हो सिया पति रामचंद्र
जी की जय शरण
उमापति
महादेव की जय
पवन सुत
हनुमान की जय
वृंदावन
कृष्ण चंद्र की जय
ओरैसा
जगन्नाथ की जय
बोलो भाई
सब संतन की जय
अयोध्या
राम लला की जय
सियापति
रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम।
In this very beautiful doha, जो आचरहि महापुरुष करहि तर्जन सोय। प्रेम से बोलो श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की। When things go very well in our life, we pat ourselves on the back and say, good job, don't we? We're a good leader. We have taken charge of our lives and things are working out just fine. Every little thing is going to be all right. But what about when things don't go the way that we want them to? Today, while thousands of children, how many children wrote? 23,000, 27,000 children wrote CSEC examinations, and then maybe 75% of that CAPE and other type of exams. While thousands of children would have celebrated wonderful results with their families and friends and loved ones, there are also some who are not very pleased with their result. But today's pravachan, today's conversation is not only about a child at that age. Today's conversation is about a child that is you. Whether you're a teenager, you're in your 20s, like me, or you're in your 40s and 50s, or like the RGs to the back, the 70s and 80s. You must ask yourself, when things don't go the way that you want them to, do you take pride in celebrating your disappointment? Sounds like an oxymoron. It sounds contradictory. But do you really take responsibility for being the leader that you are when the results don't come the way you want them to? And I'm not saying academic results. The results in your endeavors in life, whether that result is in a relationship, that result is at work, in getting the increase or the promotion, or whether that result is in academics, as our children have recently written, or in business, whatever it is, or in your health. If the results do not come the way that we want them, or we would have liked them to be, do we take responsibility and say, not so good job, boy, not so good job? Do we? Or do we look elsewhere to think about where that responsibility may have lied, or where someone did not do what they should have done, or they did something that maybe we can say it was that person's fault or responsibility? But in this very beautiful shloka, and this shloka comes from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 21. We sang it Doha style. But the shlok says, Yat yat acharati shreshtas tat tat eva taro janah sayat pramanam kurute lokas tat anu vardate. Those children would chant it very beautifully for us. But this shloka tells us that whatever a great person does, the people around, they will follow. But it also says, whatever standards that he or she sets for himself or herself, the world uses that as the benchmark. every single one of you here this morning at the Isha Bhavan, and every single one of you listening to this broadcast, whatever part of the world you are this morning, you are a leader. But we see ourselves in a healthy perspective, or from a healthy perspective, when things are favorable. But when things don't go the way that we would have liked them to, we don't take the very same responsibility as a leader. Do you know that today I officially appoint every single one of you as the CEO of your own company? And you know what the name of that company is? Me. You are in charge of your life. Somebody says, Paniji, bless me now, touch me and say a prayer for me. I will bless you, I will touch you, I will turn you upside down, I will take a broom and jar if you want. I could beat you with it too. But I cannot do for you what you have to do for yourself. And therefore, don't be confused. It is great. Binu satsang vivek na hui, Ram kripa binu sulabh na soi. Don't undervalue the power of good company. Don't undervalue the power of the influence of other people on your life. But children, young adults, and not so young adults, you must also recognize that the responsibility for progress and for when things don't work the way that you want them to, it is totally and all yours to enjoy. And therefore, the standards that you have set for yourself as a parent, as a big brother, as a middle sister, wherever you fall within your siblings, whatever standards you set for yourself, look around. There are others who are looking to you and thinking that's the benchmark, that's the standard. There's a very beautiful saying that goes, the greater danger is not in setting your standards too high and missing them, but rather in setting them too low and achieving them. We must not celebrate mediocrity. And what I mean by that, it is not that we should, when we don't get the best results, we should feel sad. I called one of my godchildren recently. I said, how did you do in your examinations? And Suske cry on the phone, cry too bad. I said, what happened? She says, Paniji, Gurudev, I got 3 distinctions and 1 2. I said, why are you crying? She said, I didn't get all the same. I said, well, then I pray that you get all 2s. She says, no, Gurudev, the 2 should have been a distinction too. We must celebrate all the results in life. Whether the results are ultimate or whether the results are not where you want them, you must celebrate the result. You got the benefit of your investment, children. You as parents and elders and the family circle who surrounded your children for that result, you are the reason you got that result. And therefore, you must be proud of it. Whether it was all distinctions, 1s and 2s and 3s, and whatever it is, it really doesn't matter. You must celebrate that result because you worked for it. And therefore, if the standard that you have set for yourself is mediocre, then that becomes the standard for others to follow. You remember in the biblical times a gentleman by the name of Noah? Do you know that name, Noah? Noah's Ark? You remember now? Good. Noah, in the early times, Noah was a gentleman who was a great leader. But he had a little problem. I know what that problem was? His problem was, Noah was the leader of the village. But Noah was the counselor as well. Noah was the carpenter. Noah, when you had problems for puja and thing, you go by Noah. Noah will help you with puja. Well, they didn't call it puja. If you wanted counseling, go by Noah. If you wanted something to do with geometry, go to Noah. And therefore, he was a great leader, but he was not the greatest leader that he could have been. And then he went to his father-in-law. Keith, what was his father-in-law's name? His father-in-law, his name slipped me now, but his father-in-law said to Noah, he says, Noah, if you change your approach, not only you will get better results, but the people around you will grow and become better themselves. He says, if Noah becomes the ultimate leader, then people will become no better than Noah himself. But when you allow people based on their skills and their basket of competencies and what they can do, if you allow them to do what they can do well, then you will become the best leader that you can be. And having listened to the advice of his father-in-law, guess what? Those who were good at counseling took that role. Those who were good at carpentry took that role. Those who were good at mathematics and science took that role. Those who were good at politics, they took that role. And Noah did what he knew best. And in doing so, you know the story of Noah and his accomplishments today. It was because he did not set the highest standards initially for himself. And that's why he was a mediocre leader. But when he allowed others to grow based on their basket of skills and what God has blessed them with, then the people became elevated. The people became uplifted, and therefore Noah then became known as one of the great leaders of his time.